Come on, sir.
Yes, please come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Singh. Would you please take a seat
Yes.
and unbutton your jacket?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Singh,
Yes, sir.
reflective writing is your hobby.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to write without reflecting?
Sir, we can write sometimes with a bit of shallower thoughts. So I might say that that is not as reflective of a person as it should be. So when we are very deeply immersed in our thoughts and when we write in that state, so I think that is more reflective.
What is your perception of reflective writing? What do you do? What do you have in mind when you write?
Sir, actually the origin was that sometimes I felt that certain thought, it has to be written down and I might lose it. So that was the fear that started it all. But later on, as I've written, I realized that it provides a better clarity of thought and a more balanced view is formed. And sometimes we have an opportunity of self-assessment while writing these. So it helps in that.
Who are your favorite writers of prose? I
Sir,
mean, fiction, non-fiction, or whatever.
Sir, I have been reading Munshi Premchand, and I was very much the way he represented and empathetic thought that he provided about the society and the representation of that era. So I've been inspired with that. And apart from that, I've read a few poets. So that has been the major inspiration.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Nittin Singh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, from J&K.
Yes, sir.
Kathua,
Yes.
the place
Yes, sir.
you hail. Please tell about Kathua.
Sir, Kathua is the entering district whenever we enter Jammu and Kashmir from Punjab. So we will be entering through Kathua district only. And it is a very fairly large district in terms of geographical spread. And the ethnicity there is predominantly Dogra. But we have Sikhs and the Punjabi speaking population as well. And moreover, it is a agriculture dominated region, but we have few industrial units. And apart from that, it is a Himalayan district. So Bhabar zone is there, Shivaliks are there, and middle Himalayas are there. So these are the basic.
Have you visited other part of
Yes, sir.
J&K? Please tell which districts you have visited.
Sir, apart from Kathua, I visited Udhampur. It is adjoining district and further into the Himalayas. Then I visited Samba district, Jammu district, and Doda district as well.
Tell me, have you gone to Gandharbal?
Gandharbal, no sir, I haven't visited Kashmir valleys.
Have you gone to the Lulab Valley?
No sir.
These are the interiors of.
Yes sir.
Is it possible to go there?
Yes, sir.
Lulab Valley?
Sir, I'm not very aware of the actual route, but it is obviously possible. So we can go through.
Possible.
Yes sir.
What are the flora and fauna,
Yes.
by and large,
Yes sir.
of the state? It's a beautiful state. I would like to know what is your understanding about the vegetation, the fauna.
Yes sir. Sir, beginning with the hangul, that is the Kashmiri stag. So it is the flagship faunal species of
Right.
Jammu and Kashmir. And apart from that, we have snow leopards in the higher reaches of Himalayas. We have deers.
At
we
what
have-
height you get snow leopard?
Sir, more than 3,500 meters
Okay,
approximately.
right.
And apart from these, we have ibex species also.
Okay.
Then in the lower regions, we have leopards. We have the nilgais. We have certain the bird species also. Pheasant families are very much there. And among the flora, we have the deodar, which is very popular.
Deodar, okay.
Yes, and the juniper and spruce wood is already there. Then we have oak trees, and we have this.
There are various varieties of oak is there
Yes, sir.
at different heights.
Yes,
They
sir.
keep on changing with
Yes.
the height.
Leaf dynamics also change, the size of the leaf. And,
Right, right. Very good. Unique.
And, yes, sir. And apart from that, sir, in our region we have this deciduous vegetation. So this is the.
And some representative of deciduous also.
Yes, sir. We have teak. We have teak is not very much, but
Teak
we
is
have
not,
sal. Yes, sir. Sal
is there.
Yes, and sir, little bit.
Chinar
is also, but that is, I think, a bit further along the altitude.
Right.
Chinar is in Kashmir Valley predominantly.
Mm-hmm.
But in our region, we have these, sir, kikar and mango, neem. These varieties are there.
In Srinagar, there is a national park. Have you visited that? National park in Srinagar?
No, sir, I haven't visited. But, sir, there is one Dachigam National Park. Yes.
That I wanted.
But I haven't visited, sir.
I have not visited. Okay. What are the 5 strengths of your state and 5 issues of concern?
Sir, for 5 strengths, I would say is the Himalayan endowment that we have, and it will appear in weaknesses as well. But focusing on strengths, the hilly region which promotes tourism. Apart from that, we have a very good cultivation of apples and the horticulture crops like this saffron cultivation is there. Then we have, being the Berber zone region, we have rich limestone and related sand deposits. Then we have a very unique cultural setup as well. So the Dogra region, we have the Dogra culture in Jammu. And in Kashmir, we have this Kashmiri culture and a very long and historical value they have. And then we have a very rich, diverse and enthusiastic people. So they are always the resource. And then the weaknesses, I would say the security issues, it comes at first. And the Himalayan, the remote climate and the remote regions that Himalayas, the challenges that Himalayas poses.
While Ladakh people are not very satisfied, there are certain issues.
Yes, sir.
There is some concerns. Can you flag that?
Sir, earlier there was a sentiment that the Ladakh region is being ignored, and administratively as well as development.
What is their basic demands, in fact?
So they want, even right now they are demanding for more autonomy for the region and more greater protection for their culture. Apart from that, they are demanding for a sustainable development model which could suit Ladakh's
Are they requesting for the to be included in
yes, sir. Sixth schedule also? Yes, sir. And even Sonam Wangchuk, there was a very social activist in that region. He was recently protesting in this region, in this scenario only. So they are demanding for autonomy and protection for their cultural identity.
Okay, my last question is, you are a computer engineer.
Yes, sir.
What do you understand by quantum computer? What is the state of in India?
Yes.
Of course, certainly it is in a very starting stage only. But I would like to know how it's going to be a future, a computer.
Sir, the traditional computers, they are based on this gates which have a logical value of 0 or 1. Either one of them at a particular point. But quantum computers, they work on qubits. So the basic fundamental is that they can have both the values at same point of time. So that's the principle of superposition from quantum physics. So it works on that, and by virtue of this property, it allows to expand exponentially the computational powers. So in that way, even we talk about quantum supremacy, that their computational power is very, very vast as compared to traditional computers. So they will be working in that direction, enhancing our computational power, and we will be needing in space and defense and crypto a very dominant field in this. And India is also working in this direction, sir. And even I think last year budget, there was a separate plan for quantum computing.
Thank you.
Here, dear Nittin,
Yes, sir.
you studied in Army public school.
Yes, sir.
That reflects in your personality even today. Look like Army person. And you know that even today, even a kid falling in well, we call Army.
Yes, sir.
Whenever there is critical situation, we call Army. That is the role of Army. Whether it is fire, whether it is communal riot, or whether it is earthquake, natural or man-made disaster, whatever. Apart from that, Nittin, if you find anywhere Sainik Dhaba, people go with respect, keep acha food hoga.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen police dhaba?
Sir, not police dhaba.
Just I'm asking. नहीं देखा ना?
No, sir.
अब देखो, they are holding that much of social prestige even after retirement,
Yes, sir.
which police is not holding.
Yes.
Even then you were tempted to join civil services, olive green uniform did not charm you. Why?
Sir, I don't view police as a negative force.
Not only police.
Yes.
You did not get charmed with olive green uniform. Army public school, you studied there. You must have got, yes, what is army?
Sir, I have always been inspired by in fact,
What
in
one
our family,
point,
sir.
What one point you lost love with army and preferred to join
Sir,
civil service?
diversity.
Diversity.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
There is not much diversity in...
Much diversity. Very good. Yes, I am appreciate. You are from Kathua, Nittin.
Yes, sir.
Kathua is very vulnerable from trans-border firing. You must be aware of.
Yes, sir.
Anytime they open fire from that side. So as an officer, suppose you are IPS officer, fine, or IAS officer, what preventive measure could be taken? Because we sustain casualty time and again. Sometimes they attack even road transport buses also.
Yes, sir.
What measures could be taken? 3 steps.
Sir, first of all, coordination with the BSF. It has to be maintained with utmost, speed. That information must be conveyed to the
You are from
general law and
Kathua, you
order.
know that even BSF sometimes sustain ambush firing.
Yes, sir. And apart from that, sir, to protect local people who are residing along the borders, we can ensure that there is fast evacuation if the need arises.
Nithin, you know that how can people be evacuated? They are farming community there.
Yes, sir. It has been, in fact, sir, we have been evacuating certain people. And even I
But
think...
that's very painful.
Yes, sir.
Evacuating, then getting them back.
Sir, sir, the greater solution needs to be provided at higher level,
Okay.
at the political level, at the level of the countries,
Okay,
to ensure
fine.
that cross.
Yes, that's very fine. But yes, I would suggest you that local level information system, information on local level, because any trans-border firing never takes place just sudden. That is pre-planned. They target when the farming community are in their field, they suddenly open fire. You must have seen right from early childhood. That's very painful. So, and here intelligence failure is very important factor. So you please take care of it. Another thing I would like to ask you, you are born in 1997 when India celebrated 50 years of independence. You are so lucky person. Tell me some major decision in 1997, historic decision of Government of India in 1997.
Sir, I cannot be sure about this, but the Pokhran test that we did.
That is in 1998.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
No issue. I would like to, because when I would be celebrating your birth year, not birthday, then I would say, Nithin, you 1997, RBI got autonomy from Ministry of Finance. That means politics got isolated from economy. Thereafter, mode of deficit financing changed from 1997. Currency of rupees 500 introduced 1997.
okay.
And Gujral, 𝐒𝐄𝐗𝐓, the Prime Minister who promoted the foreign policy, later on named as Gujral Doctrine, promoting brotherhood. You are so lucky person. Fine. You are from J&K. One more question I would like to ask. You know, you must have studied that Article 370, Clause 3 says that no change can take place, no amendment could be made in Article 370 without having consent of Constituent Assembly of J&K. Even then, Article 370, special status has been removed on 5th August 2019. How it could be? Which article?
Sir, under President's rule, when
No.
it was, what I can gather from that is, sir, it was the governor's rule, I think, yeah, as per the older
If
constitution.
I help you out, Article 367, what it says?
Sir, I'm not able to recall.
It
that right
empowers the Parliament to interpret any article of Constitution.
Okay.
They interpreted Constituent Assembly as a State Assembly. A State Assembly was dissolved. So State Assembly was taken as governor of the state.
now. Okay,
And
yes.
governor was directed by the President on behalf of Prime Minister, and naturally Article 370.
Okay.
You please go through it,
Yes, sir.
because you are from that state.
Yes.
And of course the matter is sub judice now, but yes, at least process should be clear to you. You are a smart candidate, so expectation is high. Last question. Nithin, you studied geography. You take me as a layman, why is it so that in northern India, there is diversity of culture, complexion? See, you people fare Further Jammu Kashmir, fairer. Come to down south, dark complexion. So food pattern, cultural pattern, living pattern, way of life, that is very diverse in northern part of India, right from northeast to northwest. But there is remarkable uniformity. Trans-Vindhya Satpura, it's very difficult to distinguish who is from Andhra, who is from Telangana, who is from Kerala. Why it is so much uniformity? Tell me in terms of geography.
Sir, geographical factors are always like the climate. It influences skin color.
Yes, very
of
good.
the people.
Climate. Indian climate is known. What is the typical name of Indian climate?
Sir, this tropical climate we have.
Tropical monsoon type.
Monsoon type of. Yes.
So there is diversity in northern India.
Yes.
Change of climate, change of season, change of cropping pattern, change of food pattern.
And sir, not just the physical geography, but human geographical factors we have.
That affects
the
human
migration that happened in the past.
Yeah.
The racial stocks that
Very
are
good.
mixed.
Very
they
good.
are the very dominant factors.
Very good. I am happy. Thank you.
Nittin, you said that you like the work of Premchand.
What, sir?
You like the work of Premchand.
Yes, sir.
Achha. Which all novels have you
Sir,
read?
I have read his collection of short stories as well, and the novel which I have read.
Did you read Namak Ka Daroga?
I have read that, but I don't exactly recall that. But what I recall is the Godan that he has written in the end, the last novel that he wrote. That I've read multiple times.
Godan.
So yes, sir.
Who are the important characters of Godan?
Sir, one character is Hori that I can remember right now.
What did he want to convey through the Godan?
Sir, he conveyed how life of rural India and the urban landscape that was emerging at that point of time, how it was working parallelly as well as separately. So he showed connections between those. Then he showed connections of different sections of society, how the lowest section is living, what is their thought process, and how the highest section is living, and what is their thought process, and how they view their responsibilities as a social person. So it was, in fact, sir, I was very amazed the way he kind of joined these two stories and brought the characters together at different points in time. So it was that.
Okay. Now tell me, G20 presidency.
Yes, sir.
India's presidency, having presidency for this year. So how do you feel the importance of presidency on part of India in global geopolitics?
So being the president of G20, we will be playing a very crucial role in determining the global economy and the global financial issues. And economy is intertwined with every other issue, whether it is security, whether it's geopolitics, and the emerging problems as well, the climate change, terrorism. So we will be playing a facilitative role for the world as the president to find solutions in these directions. And moreover, sir, it is becoming of India as being a significant global player. So that would be the beginning step, G20 presidency.
Okay. So tell me, in case we talk of taxation, what do you mean by progressive taxation?
Sir, fundamentally it means that as we move higher in income classes, the taxation, the amount of tax increases. So that is progressive taxation.
Okay. So suppose you are being tasked to study and suggest the measures to increase the tax collection. Yes. How will you go about it?
First of all, sir, rationalization of these tax slabs, and that has to be maintained in order to ensure that adequate tax is collected. It is not stifling and there is not leakage as well. And apart from that, sir, the implementation of the provisions and to ensure that no one escapes these provisions. And then we can go for such taxation regimes which actually promote economic activity. So that will in a longer run promote total net tax collections.
Acha, do you know what is sustainable development? What is SDG index?
Yes, sir. Sir, a sustainable development, it was like in 1989 or 88, I'm not very sure. But the idea was that we have to develop in a way that we do not compromise ability of the future generations
Okay.
to meet their requirements.
What is SDG?
And so these are the targets that were decided in the Paris Agreement 2015, that the world as whole will be meeting by 2030.
And recently in 2021, Government of India had also promoted District Good Governance Index.
Yes, sir.
You know about it?
Sir, I've
It
read
was
about-
applied in case of J&K.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm not. I'm unable to recall the specificities, but
Okay.
it was launched.
It was applied in case of J&K. It had some indicators. So now my last question. You are a computer science graduate. Tell me, what is blockchain technology and how can it be used in the
Sir,
administration, governance?
Sir, at most basic level, a blockchain is a distributed register kind of thing. They call it as a distributed ledger. So what it has is copies of information which are stored at different places, which can be computers or servers. And the main function.
How it is told that it is very secure?
The main idea is that, sir, whenever a change has to be brought in any particular record, it has to be verified with all the different nodes.
All the different nodes.
And it brings in the this robustness of verification, peer review, that if we can say that. So that ensures that any information which gets on the ledger is legitimate and verified.
How do you
multiple times.
differentiate it with normal database management system?
Sir, simple database is not distributed, not necessarily distributed. And apart from that, it is not open to the general public. But in blockchain, it can be open to general public.
And in case we compare it with the RDBMS then?
Sir, the management part, sir, I won't be able to exactly tell, but sir, the RDMS is managed privately. Like, I'm not able to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
So, computer science and geography.
Yes, sir.
So, tell me the direct application of geography, computer science in geography. Direct application is there.
Sir, we have this geographic information system and the virtual maps that we are building.
Virtual maps, how we are building virtual maps by computer, what we call it?
Sir, these are the geographical information system.
No, but there is a special term, technique is there by which map is making by computer. Very important technology.
So we have multiple. One is LiDAR that we have.
No, that is not. Okay, that is very important thing. There's some sort of graphy, what type of graphy is there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then what is remote sensing? That is also extensively used between computer and geography.
Yes.
What is this remote sensing?
So what we are actually doing is we are sensing certain elements or certain positives that we want to detect from a remote position. It can be from a satellite, it can be from an aircraft, or from a stationary situation as well. So
what is direct application of remote sensor?
Again, sir, it is being used in this GIS mapping. So they are building these topography maps using remote sensing. Then we have in the satellite imaging.
Okay, good.
We
This cloud computing is one of the greatest now big gift now for the computer science. Cloud computing.
Cloud computing.
Yes. Tell me which portion of cloud is being used by the government, by by industries, or by general people, general students? You know, cloud has got different. Cloud server has got different component.
Yes, sir.
It has got a dedicated component. It has got a public component. That I'm asking you.
Sir, I'm unable.
But you have heard it, or you have
Yes,
not
sir.
heard it?
In fact, sir, in our BTech, we did that project, and
yes.
our major computation was on cloud.
Okay,
only.
okay.
That was meant for the students.
Okay, good.
For
No
research
problem.
purpose.
No problem. This the greatest challenge is the cyber security, and there have been some convention on it internationally. Any idea what are the agreement on the cyber security internationally?
Sir, I'm not aware of the actual substantial steps that might have been taken, but even this the G20 meetings that are going on, the finance ministers meet. They discussed about the need for the global partnership.
Okay, but different terms they are talking like Trojan, malware, viruses. How they are related? What is this?
So they are all the tools for in the hands of certain malicious
Hackers,
actors.
in the hand of the hackers.
Yes. So they are employing those tools to exploit the vulnerabilities that have arisen because of this transition to
Okay,
digital
you are
space.
tell me in government sector which are much more vulnerable in sequence,
Yes,
in priority wise by these hackers.
Sir, we have top secret data that
But
are,
of course that has not been hacked. But you tell me some actual incidences of hacking.
sir, even in the past month or earlier, we have this cyber attack on 𝐒𝐢𝐬𝐧 Delhi, which crippled the services. And then earlier we had a
Any
cyber attack.
relation of these things to cyber war?
Yes, sir.
It has relationship with the
Yes,
cyber
sir.
war. Okay, this daytime saving using the geography. Any idea?
So daytime
Saving. No, you not heard about it. Okay, David. This Eastern Ghat
Yes, sir.
has got a lot of tufan. Am I right? But Western Ghats are a little. What is the reason? Eastern Ghats have disturbances, and Western Ghat has almost very few disturbances. Why it happens?
It is due to the sea surface temperature of Bay of Bengal. It is more vulnerable to low pressures getting transformed into cyclones, and the movement of these monsoons at that point of time is also in this direction. So when the monsoon kind of brings those low
Okay,
depressions
but
to
who named this tufan? But name is not tufan, but very beautiful,
Yes.
typical names are there. Who is the authority to name it, nationally and internationally?
Sir, what I think I am aware of that is that the regional meteorological organizations, for example, our region, this is IMD, Indian Meteorological Department. It, along with the collaboration of the
There is
13
some
more
other some
countries,
are there. Okay,
they have,
this in some past flight time between Delhi to New York
Yes.
was reduced maybe nearly 2 hours or 1.5 hours. Okay, geographically, how it is possible? All the flights were going, but now the flight time has been reduced by 1.5 hours.
Sir, that they might have done by reducing the number of stopovers.
No, it was not due to the stoppage.
Then
Can you think of the routes of our flight when flight goes from Delhi to USA? What are the routes and what route we can change?
Sir, currently I think we are moving through Gulf and then through Europe and then across Atlantic. So, but we can go across Pacific as well. So that might.
Okay, last question. Indian Ocean. Tell me 2 things which China did and 2 counter things done by India to counter it.
Sir, recently Chinese have been increasing their surveillance and the Navy presence in the Indian Ocean as well.
What counter? At the same time, the counter by India.
And countering that, sir, India has also increased its naval presence in the high seas, and we have increased our HADR operations.
Okay, thank you. That's all from my side.
Mr. Singh,
Yes, sir.
what's the difference between central budget and the state budget in terms of sources of revenue?
Sir, for central budget, the sources of revenue are the tax collections and then the revenue receipts that the central government receives, the income tax as well. But for state, it is more diversified. They have certain revenue receipts which they are allotted as by the constitution. Apart from that,
What is that? Under what provision of the Constitution?
yes, sir, I am not aware of that, sir. I have skipped that, sir, the detail part. But I think, sir, the state VAT and state GST is also there. And apart from that, sir, they receive allocation from the Finance Commission that directs the receipts of the center to be distributed among the states. So they
What are the state's own sources of revenue? Say Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, sir. Sir, it depends on from state to state. For example,
Yes, that's known. Tell me about J&K.
In JNK, we do sell electricity to outside states, and apart from that, from
How
primary.
much are you selling outside?
I'm not aware of that, sir.
What's the total size of J&K budget?
Sir, I'm not aware.
You're not aware.
No.
What's the difference between revenue expenditure
Yes.
and revenue deficit?
So revenue expenditure is the day-to-day expenditure that the government incurs, and it is differentiated mainly from the capital expenditure. On the behalf that capital expenditure leads to formation of.
What is capital expenditure?
Sir, the expenditure that has been done by the government, which further leads to formation of certain financial, physical asset or a financial liability. So
What
that
are
is,
the important state taxes?
sir, CGST, SGST is there. Then we have the
Is
state
that a
VAT.
state tax?
No, that's a center tax, but it is distributed with the state. But we have state level VATs and excise on certain products, and that's.
What are the land laws of J&K?
And if I may say, the land revenue is also to the state. So
Yes,
the law.
but what is the amount collected?
No, sir.
I don't know. And what are the land laws?
Sir, I'm not.
You're not aware.
Yes, sir,
What's the
not
land
particular.
revenue system? How people hold land? What do you understand by land rights?
Sir, so the recognition of ownership of this hereditary land. They are the land rights that.
What is the law that Sheikh Abdullah enacted?
Sir, I'm not aware of that.
You don't remember? Tell me, what's the proportion of people below poverty line in J&K?
I'm not aware of that, sir.
You're not aware.
No, sir.
It is among the lowest in the country. It is only about 8%. Now, can you tell us what might be the reasons for low level of poverty in J&K?
Sir, first, observing our own situation, so majority of people were dependent on land directly and indulged in primary activities. So there was a kind of livelihood that was there. So it provided that kind of livelihood. So I think they were not vulnerable to this industrial workforce.
What is the GDP of J&K and what's the share of, say, agriculture, manufacturing,
Yes, sir.
trade?
Sir, I'm not aware of the peculiar.
Okay. Now, what do you understand by geoeconomics?
Sir, I can take a guess, but I have not studied this extensively. But like we have geopolitics, the influence of geography on politics. Similarly, we can say that geoeconomics is the influence of geography on the economic activity.
What is the geoeconomic importance of Pakistan for China, which
So
is
China-
reflected in certain
Yes, sir.
actions? Can
So
you tell
China
us?
wants access to the Gulf, and that is for its energy security and the market that it can tap. And currently, it is importing energy through this Malacca Strait. But if it gets access through Pakistan, that would be very beneficial for it. And it is pursuing that through CPEC corridor that they are building.
Can you tell us about some facts about CPEC? What is the current stage of implementation? What's the total amount to be invested and that kind of thing?
Sir, I'm not aware of the numbers that are being
What do you
involved.
understand by Malacca dilemma? You mentioned about Malacca. For China, what is it?
I'm not aware of that, sir.
You're not aware.
No, sir.
What's the importance of South China Sea? Geopolitical importance.
So first of all, sir, China wants to be a dominant player in South China Sea, but and it is being contested by the neighboring states. So it brings that political conflict scenario, and because of that, it becomes vulnerable to geopolitics. And apart from that, we have a very huge resource base and very strong, very prominent trade routes are through this. So in that way, it is very important.
What's the difference between tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers? What do you understand by non-tariff barriers?
Sir, The ones that come to my mind are the sanitary and phytosanitary measures. So these are kind of requirements in terms of phyto or phytosanitary, like bacteria or something which can infect certain products. So based on those, they impose certain limitations, certain checks which act as barriers, trade barriers.
There is a perception that Pakistan is a bottomless pit. It is a failed state. It has no future whatsoever.
Yes.
Do you agree with this perception?
Sir, there is this perception in some sections, but I don't want to agree with that because
You don't want to agree is not what
Yes,
I
sir.
want you to say
Yes.
as a civil service aspirant. What's your view? How do you see these facts?
I see, sir, they are obviously going through trouble, but it cannot be declared as a failed state. That would be harmful for us only for a longer period.
What's the population of Pakistan at the time of its creation? And what's the population now?
Sir, I'm not aware of.
Thank you. Your interview is over.